Tonight, Democratic debates. I don't understand quotes about sugary drinks. And then, shootings across the nation. 92% of Americans don't want to get shot. And later, currency manipulation. I was told by the Secret Service that's called counterfeiting. There's no stopping us now because we're live.
I'm John Thompson.
I'm John A. Vink.
I'm AJ Minnick.
I'm Keith Stattenfield.
I'm Jim too.
I'm Jennifer Sim, and those stories tonight on John Wants Answers.
John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers. Give John answers. John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
Check your calendar. If it says August 8th, then we're live. Hey Keith, is this the dog days of summer?
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear John, happy birthday to you.
I have to blow a thing, right?
No, but we have ice cream donuts for you.
Ice cream donuts.
They're from New York.
From New York?
I didn't arrange this.
It's,
Well, apparently they're from New York. That's what I heard.
okay. They're from,
Not like invented in New York, like actually in New
Kosher.
York yesterday.
it says it's kosher on here. Elegant Desserts, New York.
See?
Ice cream donut, chocolate and sprinkles.
These are pink,
Pink.
and
I
those are
don't know if I trust pink.
not pink.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. I'll get the microphone out of the way.
Can you
I don't
still
want
hear
to
us?
ruin it.
Hello.
I think they can still hear us.
Are you gonna have, what's donut you gonna have? These are ice cream.
I'm
Like, I
not
can't,
allowed to have donuts anymore.
I can't really pick them up because it's actual, like, ice cream.
Wait, now you're dissing your birthday donuts?
No, it's,
Just grab the donut, just watch.
it's not donut, it's ice cream. It's all ice cream. There's no doughy part.
Now this top thing is doughy.
Okay, the top part.
Okay, watch, just scoop the donut like that, watch.
Did you get any New York napkins?
No, I don't have napkins in New York, it's illegal.
They are good.
Why do you hate the earth, John? Napkins. Jeez, just lick your hand like everyone else does.
The very first episode of
Yeah.
the IT Crowd starts
This
like
is
this.
compelling, television, people.
People at home are like, I want to get ice cream donuts.
You should, they're delicious.
should. This one's good.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be melted before the end of the show, but. What can we do?
The audience should
We're
come up.
locked here in a studio.
I think during the break, the audience should come up and eat a bunch of donuts that are ice cream.
That's a good idea.
You know I love donuts.
I do know you love donuts. I've had donuts at like 1 a.m. with you.
Ah, that's right.
Like I've been sitting in my house, and like my phone has gone bing, and I'm like it's 11:52, and I'm like, well, that's John asking if I want to go get donuts,
and we did get donuts.
and then we went and got donuts.
That was the good old days.
Yeah, back when we were young and still allowed to eat donuts.
Younger than we are today. Is this called the dog days of summer?
I don't call them that.
What are the dog days of summer?
I think they're like late summer.
That's all it means?
Oh, I'm sure it means more than that, but I don't know.
We're not quite late. I think we're midsummer. Is midsummer? I think it's midsummer.
Like in Wisconsin, like August and September were always hot, like summer.
Yeah. Around here, September, October is really hot. Still. My guest tonight.
Climate, people.
My guest tonight is the legendary Keith Stattenfield.
I'm not actually legendary.
No?
No, I did a web search.
I
I'm
thought
just-
you
I'm
were
just-
like very
just-
influential in Mac OS 9.
Well, yeah, but that's not legendary. Like legendary is like King Arthur.
Yeah.
Like 100 years after I'm dead, if people are still talking about me, then I'd be legendary.
Still have time.
Well, yeah, okay. I got that to look forward to.
I have a cool story here. Now, we went to Southern California
We did.
earlier this month,
Yeah, we went to Disneyland.
and we met with a guy from HBO. And we talked about getting this show on HBO. Now, this is off the record, which means I can't say his name,
No, you can't.
but I think we're going to get our show on the HBO Now app.
Yeah, that would be great.
I think if you look for the show ZZZZZZZZ John Wants Answers,
Yeah.
and it might be there.
Yeah. So apparently there's another show called John Wants Answers that has rights to the title. So we had to change it.
No, we
We
just put
put all
the
the
Z's.
Z's in.
We put the Z's in so it appears at the end. So the hype executives, they don't notice it's there.
Well, don't you think that
People
very
at home.
quickly we're going to end up on trending?
Yes, and then they want to keep it. See,
Yeah,
once
yeah.
you can't ask an executive, "Hey, you want to have my show?"
Yeah, we're way too avant-garde
You need to have it
to
on there
get an
first.
actual approval from
People
an
are going to
HBO
see
executive.
it. It's going to drive them nuts. They're going to want to see more and
Yeah.
more, and then they can't take it off then.
No. And
Okay.
by be on HBO, what you mean is you and I are going to hack into Cloudflare, and we're going to arrange for our show to appear.
I'm not going to describe the methods we'll be using.
Good plan. Yeah,
Okay.
I guess that was.
Another show we saw, we went to San Jose last month. We saw a show called Adjacent to Greatness.
Yeah, we had good lord.
Scott Canaster, friend of the show,
Friend of the show.
got on stage. He
Yeah, actual
told us
legend.
thrilling stories about Silicon Valley for an hour. And he's legendary. When I first graduated university,
Uh-huh.
I got a job.
No, you're in America, graduated from the university.
And they said, "Here's the Macintosh you'll be working on." And I was like, "Macintosh?
Macintosh. Yeah.
I had never programmed a Macintosh before."
No. I'm amazed you got your job at all.
Me too. And so then I got a book, How to Write Macintosh Software.
Yeah, by
The
Scott
legendary Scott Canaster
Yeah,
wrote that book. And so he's in this new one-man play, Adjacent to Greatness. If you Google Adjacent to
He's
Greatness,
not in it. Like, it's his play.
well, he's in it. And he's the
But
writer.
you wouldn't describe him as in it. You'd be like, it's his one-man show.
Yeah. I'm not sure the point you're trying
You're
to make. but-
underselling. You're underselling the amount of work that is attributable to him.
We're going to take your tweets. You can
We're
tweet
not
us
going to take
tonight.
your tweets.
at
We
John
never
Wants
have
Answer.
time to read tweets.
Oh, we're going to do this time.
Okay, which topic are we going to skip?
And if you don't like Twitter, like I just mentioned at the start of the
No one
show,
does.
don't
You
like
hate
Twitter,
Twitter, yeah.
go to johnwantsanswers.com and just send us a message that way. All right. Our first topic,
Onto the donuts.
Democratic debates. Now, we talked about Democratic debates last month,
Remind me to get that piano tuned.
and the video went on way too long last month.
Yeah,
So I have
it
a
did.
short video this time. Short video.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Let's see the video.
Mr. Vice President, there's a saying in my community, you're dipping into the Kool Aid and you don't even know the flavor.
Okay.
Well, I have my eyes closed. Did I
So-
miss the video?
My first question is, as a white man, am I allowed to say what he just said? Like, I don't know if this is
I think you are.
something in the African American community that means something. Okay. So I can say, you're dipping into the Kool Aid and you don't even know the flavor.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it sounds dumb when you say it, but you're allowed to say it.
What does it mean? Do you know what this means?
I don't know.
You don't know either?
No, I think it's. Again, here's the thing. They're barely debates. They're 10 people in a row,
Uh-huh.
all madly trying to get their 90 seconds to 4 minutes
Mm-hmm.
of reasonably well rehearsed little lines out. Because
Right.
7 of them are just madly trying to grab attention so that their campaign will get above 3% support,
To make it to the next
maybe
debate.
8% support, so that they have a chance of being president.
Okay,
So they're, it polled, probably polled well.
Kool-Aid has often been associated with people who are unwavering believers. So,
Well, Kool Aid, before we go any further,
Okay.
a delightful beverage made in America.
yes, we will accept sponsorship from
Yeah.
any refreshing drink maker.
Well, not any.
Okay. Now, we know a guy. His name's Casey. He's been on the show before.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure.
He's often accused of drinking the Kool-Aid because he's an Apple fanboy.
Yeah, he is.
He loves Apple.
He loves
I don't think I've
everything.
ever seen him in a T-shirt that wasn't an Apple T-shirt,
Yeah.
except for the day he got married. And I think he had an Apple T-shirt underneath that.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Probably did.
How would you have seen that?
he got a little drunker later on. Okay, anyways.
I was there later on. I mean, now I feel like I wasn't invited to something. I mean,
So the impression is that if you drink the special Kool Aid, then you become a believer. But I think Kool Aid got the bad rap
I don't think you drink the Kool Aid and become a believer. I mean, Kool Aid has gotten this bad rap
Right.
because of the, let's just say, a situation in Guyana,
South
where
America.
the People's Temple, led by Jim somebody,
Jim Jones?
Jim Jones,
Was it Jim Jones?
a charismatic religious leader, convinced many Americans to move with him out of the country to a compound where they tried to live according to their ideals, which
And he was from around here, right? This is like San Francisco guy. Yeah.
He was from the East Coast, but he had moved out to San Francisco, and his church was in San Francisco,
Right.
and he had people that followed him around, people that came with him to worship, and then he decided that America was not where he wanted to be anymore because he was getting a lot of pushback from the government because it turns out he was doing a lot of shady things and taking money from his followers and engaged in other things. So he went to South America and tried to continue. And at some point, he decided that this just isn't going to work at all for us, and we all need to die. And the
Sounds
way
grim.
that they chose to accomplish that is they poured cyanide. I don't remember what the poison was.
Cyanide, yeah.
A particularly horrible poison into big bowls, big buckets, flavored with Flavor Aid.
Flavor
Not
Aid.
Kool Aid.
Not Kool Aid. Flavor Aid.
Grape Flavor Aid. And then they told everyone, hey, if you believe in me, if you believe in our mission, drink it. And
So they knew they're about to drink something that would kill them.
I don't know I think yes. I think
And the
that
and the doors are also guarded in case you decided
there
not to.
were also automatic weapons
Yeah.
and guards.
Yeah.
And, it was a bad scene. It was a bad scene all around.
So that's where the expression "drinking the Kool Aid" kind of came from.
Yeah, but you drink the Kool Aid to prove your faith, not
Right.
to get your faith.
So in the old days, it was like if you drank the Kool Aid, you're proving that you already believed.
Well, yeah. You drank the Kool Aid because you believed.
But I think the expression today is if you're drinking the Kool Aid, it means you drank something to become a believer. Have you heard that
I don't
expression?
think so.
That's
I've
how
heard
I've
the
heard it.
expression. I think it quite means what you think it means.
That Casey's drunk the Kool Aid. I don't think Casey's going to die. I think he's
Well,
just
Casey
unwavering.
is going to die. I mean,
well,
someday. I mean, just
not from drinking the proverbial Kool Aid.
well, I agree. Kool Aid's low on the list of things that are likely to kill him. I think.
His wife
Given
is
what
number
I've
one.
seen of his car, I'm assuming it'll be a high-speed accident. But
Our next topic: shootings. So we had a shooting not far from here in Gilroy.
America did, yeah. Like we weren't involved.
You and I
Just
weren't.
let's get
Yes.
that out.
Okay. There was a shooting today. I got a news alert today. This is live. That San Jose University had an active guy running around with a gun.
Yeah, I don't know if there was
I
a
don't know
shooting
if
or not.
anyone got
But
shot.
apparently there was an alert.
Alert.
I haven't heard if there was actually a guy or not.
I heard
It'd
there
be
was a
like
guy.
in New York the other night when the car backfired. And
Oh,
everyone
yeah,
on Broadway
yeah.
panicked because they thought it was gunshots.
And then this past weekend, the shootings in El Paso, Texas,
Paso.
and Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah. The Dayton one, I was like just going to bed. And all I saw was just some reports from Dayton, but I like turned the TV on and couldn't find anything. And then I went to sleep and then I woke up and then I believed for a while in the morning that I had dreamed that there had been another shooting.
Right.
Until I then opened up the internet and was like, oh no,
No,
things are
not again.
terrible. Everything is really, really terrible, and here we are in America.
You think it's going to happen again?
Well, it is going to happen again.
Oh. Are we going to do anything to stop it?
Anything or anything successful.
Are we going to do anything to try and stop it?
I think we're trying to do something.
I think we're going to try to do that. We have never tried anything before.
We tried a couple things.
What have we tried?
Well, I mean, California's passed some laws.
Yeah. What kind of laws have they passed?
They've made some of the assault rifles illegal to possess.
That didn't help us in Gilroy.
No, it didn't, because
No,
he drove to Arizona drove to
Nevada.
to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is it legal? It was legal for him to buy it in Nevada.
Yes.
Was it legal for him to take it from
I'm
Nevada?
not certain it was legal for him to buy in Nevada, because I think you're supposed to be a resident in Nevada. I mean,
Oh.
I'm not sure whether it was legal for him to buy the way he bought it, but for a resident of Nevada, it's legal to buy, and it's plausible that it would be legal if you were not a resident in Nevada under some circumstances.
But could you then take that gun and bring it into
You
California?
can't possess it in California.
Okay, so it's not just you can't buy it in California, you also can't possess it in California.
Yeah, I think you can't possess it in California.
Okay.
Like, I think that's the law.
That should be nationwide, because
Well, it should be.
I
but
don't
it's
see a
not
lot of
gonna be.
reason to have one of these guns unless you're doing something like this anyways.
What if 30 to 50 feral hogs head for your children?
My children. You know.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. What are you doing with so many hogs?
Well, you don't have the hogs. You need the assault rifle.
Because your neighbor's
The
hogs got
100
loose?
barrel. No, these are wild feral hogs. If they're your neighbor's hogs, you're not allowed to shoot them. They belong to him.
No.
That's like
Should
cattle
come.
rustling, except for pigs.
What if cattle comes in your land? Then
You don't know. You
it's your
don't
land.
have good fences up.
Look,
Cattle's allowed to come on your land.
when a hawk flies into my backyard,
Yeah.
that's my hawk.
I
And
don't
then when it
think-
flies away
I don't
to my
think-
neighbor's land, then it's his hawk.
I don't think that's true. That's not how hawk ownership works.
No?
No. Like, what if it's someone's pet hawk?
What
Just
did
because
it for?
it took flight, it suddenly became whoever.
It's escaped. You get freedom. We
It could not be
1865. We passed
escaped.
some laws.
He could have sent it over to your backyard to eat one of the many field mice that I understand live there.
Mice in my backyard? Huh. I have rats in my backyard, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so these shootings, were they all like racially motivated?
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Which ones weren't?
We don't yet know a good motive for the Dayton, Ohio.
This is what confuses
Sounds
me.
like a person had a lot of.
There's video of the shooter with his sister and a friend in a bar
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
Very soon after that, he shoots his sister,
Yeah. There.
among other people.
I'm just saying, there's a
lot of mystery.
There's dynamics there that we are going to eventually learn some details about.
But we
Probably
can't.
not enough of them.
Yeah, we can't ask him. He's dead,
He's dead.
and the
She's
sister's dead. How'd the
But
friend?
you-
Do you know anything about the friend?
No.
Oh, we should
No,
find out. We should find that friend. Here's my advice:
I
find the friend
think
and ask
they
him.
know where he is.
Okay, good. They're on it.
Yeah.
I've been hearing about this new.
Oh, and the El Paso guy released a manifesto
Yeah.
on 8chan like 20 minutes before he started shooting. So we believe we know what his motivation was. And the California guy, I don't know if we yet know what his motive is.
He also posted something
He
white supremacy.
Tweeted something white supremacy, but he's also tweeted. Nah, they don't know yet. I don't think they've said anything.
So this 8chan thing.
Yeah.
There's a thing called 4chan, and I guess they doubled it, and now there's another thing called 8chan.
Yeah.
What is this thing?
It's like a bulletin board computery thing.
Like an old BBS from the old days?
Well, yeah, more like a forums.
Forums.
Yeah.
And they only talked about horrible things there?
No, I think they talk about non-horrible things too.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
I think there's a lot of anime talk on 4chan.
That's
and
kind of horrible
8chan.
too. Yeah.
Well, let's not judge.
Okay.
I mean, you're Canadian. You're wearing a pointy hat with a red thing on top of it.
I don't know. Viewers will recall I'm a victim of this hat.
You are.
It got put upon me.
Yeah.
There is a quote,
Sure.
famous quote. I do not agree with what you have to say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. Now, Evelyn Beatrice Hall is an author who wrote that about a book about Voltaire. Do you think she knew what kind of terrible speech we'd have today when she said that she would defend to the death our right to say it? Because 8chan has a lot of bad stuff on it. A lot of racist stuff.
I suspect she, in her time, was familiar with horrible, horrible speech and ideas. And I mean, I believe she was more speaking of the prohibiting the government from restricting people from saying things. just because the government would, there are a lot of things that I don't think the government should be able to prohibit you from saying. That I also think you shouldn't say because they're terrible and you should know better.
Well, we have laws against hate speech, right?
We have laws against crimes. I mean, we have, if you commit a crime, and if the reason you commit a crime is out of hatred for a person's ethnicity or gender, or in some states, sexual expression or gender,
They're called protected classes, I guess.
then you can be charged with a hate crime, an enhancement on top of the existing crime. But hate speech isn't illegal. So there's no hate speech that's illegal
Okay. So like, that's good because I hate
in
olives.
America.
I hate olives.
Okay.
All of them, like the green ones and the black ones.
Okay.
Yeah, disgusting. Now in Chicago this weekend, 59 people were shot
Yeah.
and 7
It
died.
was a big city.
Now, that wasn't a mass shooting, right? Because they were all like 59 individual, one person being shot.
Yeah.
Is that how it worked?
Some of those I think were people trying to shoot themselves.
Oh,
I mean, statistically,
yeah.
suicide is, I don't want to say common, but
It sounds like we should avoid Chicago for a while.
bad things happen everywhere.
Yeah.
Chicago has
There's a lot
a
of bad things happening.
problem with crime. Chicago has tried to pass laws prohibiting gun ownership, but Indiana is right next to Chicago, and Indiana has no laws really. And
All right.
so Chicago kind of ends up on the short end of a lot of sticks.
Yes. So we're going to look at our tweets because we have a whole lot of tweets.
All right.
If 90% of Americans want background checks on buying guns, why don't we have them? Yeah, so we keep hearing about universal background checks.
Mitch McConnell won't bring the bills up in the Senate.
And so he thinks people without, well, right now you need a background check to get a gun, right? But there's loopholes.
You're supposed to have a background check to get a gun. They have hamstrung the agencies which have to do the background checks, so they can't do as good a background checks as they really could do.
Okay.
Beyond that, there are situations where you don't have to do a background check when you transfer ownership of a gun. If it's from person to person, not through a dealer, you don't have to do a background check.
Oh.
If your parents are giving you a gun, they don't have to do a background check.
My parents would never give me a gun.
Well, no, they're Canadian.
We have a fair number of guns. I shot a gun in Canada
Sure.
out of piece of paper. I brought it here one day. Remember I showed on the show the paper of the paper guy I shot?
Yeah.
And I got him in the head. He had to come in.
You've been practicing in those video games.
Keith just said, I don't know. That's not the content I tune into the show for. Yeah, I think if you don't know something, I think you're going to make something up.
No,
Although
I
you
did that
did
once,
agree
and
not
then
to lie.
And you were sad.
That time, you knew the right answer, but you made up a different one. That's what I think the problem was that time.
Okay, so you're saying if I don't know the answer, it's okay for me to make one up. That's what I'm hearing.
Audience, that's my audience
I'm just saying next show is going
next
to
show.
be even more interesting than this show.
Okay. And Scott Canaster also agrees about the hawk.
About how you don't own a hawk just because it
If
lands
it flies
in your
into, no,
backyard.
he agrees with me. If it flies into my backyard, it's my hawk. Until it flies into someone else's backyard.
I'm gonna wanna read the original tweet before I concur.
All right. Our next
'Cause
topic.
I'm just telling you, I'm looking right at Scott Canaster, and he's shaking his head when you're saying what Scott Canaster is saying. I mean, this.
Well, okay,
there's not
it's
a
very
lot
ambiguous.
of situations where I can have this kind of real-time confirmation or denial of things, but I'm gonna.
Here's the problem with the tweet. It says, in full, I agree about the hawk. He doesn't say which side he agrees on. So I assumed he meant my side because I am John Want's answer, and you are guy beside John Want's
Yeah, but
answer.
see, I'm the answer, you're the question. He agrees with the answer,
I think that
not
was
with the question.
That was something I just provided the answer for. I didn't ask you ahead of time if a hawk goes in my backyard, is it mine? No, I said, I think if a hawk goes in my backyard, it's mine.
Yeah, and then I said, no, that's not true. That's not how hawk ownership.
If only
occurs.
another tweet had come in the last minute clarifying. But anyways, we must move on because the next topic is currency manipulation. Okay, we have 5 minutes.
We'll
so
talk about hawks more.
we'll get to that after we talk about this. Okay.
Okay.
What currency does China have?
Everyone calls it the yuan, but that's
Yuan.
not yuan.
Yuan.
That's not actually what the currency's called. The currency's called like the renminbi or something.
That sounds like a
The
Russian.
yuan is
thing.
just like the unit of currency.
Okay. What's the exchange rate to the US dollar to the yuan?
I have no idea.
No?
I mean, there's an exchange rate. Like I could look it up.
Well, it's too late now. We only have 5 minutes. You got to move on this. What does it mean to manipulate the currency?
Well, you would manipulate the currency conversion. China has a currency. There's a thing that there's units of value that
Right.
people exchange. America has a currency. We call them dollars. People think. If you have dollars, but you want to buy something, and if they want yuan for it, you have to turn your dollars into those.
Right.
And generally, there's often a published rate at which someone will
Yeah.
take $100 and give you so many of this.
Exchange rate, yeah.
In this case, the Chinese government controls what the exchange rate is.
How is that? I thought it's decided by the open market.
Yeah, you should take an economics class. I mean, in some sense, it's decided by the open market, but the Chinese government has an infinite amount of currency. So
Really?
when they,
Wow.
the U.S. government has an infinite amount of currency, essentially.
But the US government doesn't set the exchange rate, do they?
No.
Because dollars fluctuate in value day to day.
Well, the Federal Reserve sets the interest rate.
Yeah.
And the Federal Reserve, during the downturn of 2008, 2009, created billions of dollars of currency and just handed it to banks. And
Why do we pay taxes if the government can just make money?
again, you should take more than one. Don't you have a business degree?
Okay. The show's called John Wants Answers.
Okay.
And I'm an actor.
You told me before we have 5 minutes. I cannot explain to you why we pay taxes.
I'm an actor.
And
so my job is to
discuss.
pretend I don't know the answers so that
Okay.
I can ask you.
In this case,
and you
the
can tell me the
Chinese
answers.
government sets what they are willing to exchange
Okay.
dollars for, and then they control the law, so they prohibit
And so are
companies
they
in China from doing this themselves. And so effectively, what the Chinese government says is the exchange rate is the exchange rate.
Okay.
Now, if they set the exchange rate way far out of what anyone else believed it should be, then those people on the side would, be willing to take fewer dollars per yuan than the Chinese government might want.
Okay. So they'd want to do that so that they
When
can.
your currency is worth less, it makes the products your companies make more valuable because you can sell them to other countries for less money.
Yeah.
You get less money coming in, but you have more work. Your people are doing more work.
If they buy stuff, if Chinese people buy things from overseas, it costs more.
It costs
now.
them more. Yeah.
And this is bad for America because now Chinese goods are even cheaper. So if you're going to buy Chinese goods and not buy American goods.
Or the tariffs are imposed. Easier to pay because
Well, we pay the tariffs.
we do, but they're
But they're easy to pay because the base price of the product is lower.